Hi guys, today I want to show you something that people don't usually get to see, speedrunning skips that don't work. Why might you ask, would you show that? Are you insane? Have you lost your mind? They don't work. Well, when finding skips and glitches for a game, people try all sorts of bizarre stuff and only a small percentage of it ends up being something that will find its place in a speedrun. But I think some of the things that come this close to being in a run, but are prevented from becoming a strat at the last moment, are still really cool, and showing it might help to understand the way speedrunning works. First one is right here, at the very start of the later second chapter of the game. Do you see anything that could help you to try and escape a portion of the game? If you set the doors, you're right. If you must jump and go left as soon as the game allows you, you can make it through the doors before they close and end up out of bounds. The game doesn't know how to handle it, so the camera is not going to follow us, but I'll show you what's there. Due to the way developers place the rooms, the latter portion of the game is in fact below us. Normally we're supposed to go up the stairs, then ride the elevator down through this corridor where we get teleported even more left of where we start. Then we go right and end up in the shoe room, which is located right below the very beginning of the level. The corridor we passed is reused and the shoe room triggers a switch that changes it for the next phase. Now, no one actually spent time trying to find a way to get down and back in bounds. There is at least one way to get down alive, and it's a completely blind jump. That's not the issue with this skip, it's probably possible. Anyway, let's say we can get there and maybe hit a checkpoint that protrudes outside of the level, which after restarting would put us here and switch the corridor. Now, everything looks great, shoe monster sequence starts as it should, and we skipped almost 5 minutes. Wow, the run could have been sub 30 with this, but it's not. Because while many games would fix some issues that could arise from breaking the sequence of events, Little Nightmares will not. Not in this case anyway. The janitor though still works as he should in the corridor, but once we get to the end it becomes crystal clear what is wrong. We skipped riding the elevator down and nothing, not checkpoint restart, nor restarting the game would move it down for us, and the janitor would not continue his script either. At least the existence of this out of bounds led us to a similar skip in the first DLC that actually works and saves 3 minutes in an 11 minutes run. From the lair, let's go into the kitchen. If you've seen Little Nightmare speedruns, you probably know about the warp at the end of the chapter, but I'll explain it anyway. If you grab this hook at a very precise moment, you can ride it into the wall, and because these hooks are reused by the game, they disappear and appear somewhere else, and if Six is holding it, she'll be teleported to the end of the level, saving a huge amount of time. But this is not the only place with hooks. At the start of the chapter we ride one through the abyss, and if you time it precisely, it's possible to re-grab it after the game tries to drop you down and keep riding it into this small room. If you're still holding on when a hook disappears, something interesting happens. It's tough to tell exactly what, but it seems that here the game deletes hooks instead of teleporting them, and Six gets deleted as well. At least partially. Something, camera maybe, survives and gets put at the coordinates 0.0.0. It's what happens when the game doesn't know where to put you, and it turns out to be the grinder room. Too bad we can't unbreak the game and get inside the room, or at least hit the checkpoint. Would have been a huge time save, about 3 minutes. If you jump off the hook as it disappears, the game will actually crash. Later in the kitchen we need to steal a key from one of the chefs so we can open this lock, and in the speedrun we then jump to the door handle and perform the previously shown hook warp. Now let's go back a bit and into a parallel reality where developers put a grabbable object in this room. A can, a toy, a sausage, literally anything that Six can pick up. Most of the rooms have something like that, not this one. Anyway, if such an object existed anywhere after the grinder, we could then ride the elevator with it and abuse the physics engine to wiggle ourselves outside of the vent. It's actually not even that difficult to do. This would skip the entire chef sequence, including a long wait. But absence of such an object alone is not enough to kill the strat. You could do something else, which, let me say, is absolutely hilarious, and I'm very sad it's not part of the run. You can wait for the chef, and instead of stealing the key, you can steal one of his sausages, throw it into the vent, and wiggle with the sausage to skip the elevator. Brilliant. This could still be faster, and because we won't have to do the very difficult door jump, safer. But the game throws another roadblock. The way the hooks work is as follows. Hooks are completely stationary unless a trigger near the door is hit. It normally happens when you come inside, but once activated they start going the wrong way. The second trigger near the other door needs to be hit in order to reverse them. And unfortunately, at this point where you would need to jump down and hit the triggers in order, this strat stops making any sense and just straight up loses you time. Still cool though that it is technically a skip that kinda works and even skips something. That's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed watching what could have been but never was, and see you next time!